I'm reading from 100 Simple Secrets of Great Relationships, What Scientists Have Learned and How You Can Use It. David Nevin, PhD. Set rules for conflict. While every relationship has disagreements, the number and severity of those disagreements vary tremendously. You are never going to agree on everything, and you shouldn't try to agree on everything. But one vital agreement will help you reduce the pain of disagreements: choosing a method for your discussions. It is not uncommon to find two people in a relationship with wildly different ideas about how to deal with conflict. Some rush into it the first moment they notice the problem. Others hint around the problem without directly stating it. And still others try to avoid the subject and perhaps the instigating event altogether. The real problem arises when two people in a relationship adopt different approaches. Now, not only do they have to deal with the conflict at hand, but the difference in their approaches alone causes tension. Level the playing field in your discussions by deciding how you can air concerns to each other in a format that allows both of you to participate. Well, I have a real interest in conflict, and this is one of the things I try to help people with. The more you can agree on around how you're going to solve problems in your relationship, I think the better you're going to be. What most couples fight over, most people fight over in relationships, is how we're going to do things. And a lot of times the fight is simply because they haven't decided how they want to do things. They haven't talked and figured it out. I come from one system, she comes from another system, and we argue over how we're gonna get together and solve problems between us. So yeah, I think we should agree on how we're going to do that. One strategy is to, are we going to wait to talk about things? Are we going to talk about them immediately? Are we going to, what are the rules around how we have conflict? Are we going to raise our voices? Are we going to use profanity? Are we going to, be angry and bullying? Should we not try to solve anything until we calm down? We need to talk about that. Do I need to take a time out to get myself together, ready to talk so that I don't have to raise my voice? I don't feel like, me personally, I should try to solve any problem while I'm angry. Anger and stress makes me stupid. I don't do a good job. Even though I feel like I can, I really don't do a good job. I don't communicate well. And I like to take a minute to run things by my support group or my support before I bring it up, just to make sure I'm not crazy. Just to make sure I've thought about it first before I bring it up. And my rule is, if you can't put the complaint in an I statement, don't bring it up. And an I statement is, what's the problem? How does it make you feel? And what do you need? If you can't say those three things, then don't bring it up yet. You're not ready to talk about it. Take some time, regroup, because if you start talking out of the side of your neck, if I start talking out of the side of my neck, I usually make the situation worse. So that's like an agreement that I want to get with people that I'm talking to. Be able to put it in an I statement. An I statement is not just a statement with a bunch of I's in it. I think you should have done something different. I think you out to get me. That's not an I statement. The I statement has three parts. What's the problem? How does that problem make me feel? And a feeling is one word, not a description of the other person's behavior. I feel like when you did that, you were trying to get me, because it's too easy to bring up a complaint and turn that complaint into a accusation against somebody, and now you got two problems. And as this reading is saying, we got a problem. We don't know how to talk about that problem. And now what I'm adding to it is, if I don't put it in an I statement, I turn the problem into an accusation against my partner or the person I'm talking to. And now they got to work through that also, making it more difficult and more easy to get in trouble. So put that thing in an I statement or an XYZ statement. In situation X, after we talked about it, Y, I feel Z. Put it in some form. Just don't serve it up cold out of the refrigerator. In my DV group, we call it brown and serve. Don't serve it up frozen. Make sure you thought about it. Because the minute you do that, you four-wheel driving over the countryside and trying to get somebody to go with you. In other words, you arguing. Okay? And so this is a simple agreement. Be able to put the complaint into an I statement. Don't just launch. You know, another good thing to agree on is this a good time to talk about? You know, can I talk to you about it? Don't just ambush your partner. Right, baby, is this a good time for us to talk about something? This is kind of troubling me. I need about 15 minutes. I need about 10 minutes. You know, get a person a little forewarning. You know, talking to somebody about it first, you know, turning to my support group and talking to them about it helps lower my anxiety so I don't just throw up. I'm a partner. I'm trying to protect my partner from my challenging emotions. I'm trying to protect myself from my challenging emotions. I want to get those under control before I start trying to engage with other people. Conflicts can quickly spiral, and I don't have a good example of conflict. Know how I feel. How is this making me feel? You know, and a feeling is one word, not a whole description, not a whole paragraph. You know, I don't have to take all the time talking about it. I need to get the blame out of it. I need to get the guilt tripping out of it. You know, I don't need to be disrespectful. I don't need to be rude. And I do better. I do better when I can do that. I need to be well rested, well fed. You know, want to avoid being hungry, lonely, angry, tired when I'm dealing with a conflict. And this leads to a great deal of relationship satisfaction, as the reading said. You know, when you feel like you can talk to your partner about things and you can change things. You know, I work with this. You know, I work with this day in and day out. People are coming to me because they're having problems with conflicts in their relationship. And as a marriage and family therapist, if I can't help you with a conflict, I can't help you. And the conflict can either be intrapsychic, you know, inside your own mind, something you're struggling with, your own value, your own goals, your own desires, or it can be interpersonal, a conflict between you and another person. But this is what I work on day in and day out. And that's why I'm bringing this video up, to try to help people. I want you to enjoy your relationship. I want you to, you know, you don't have to be miserable in a relationship with another human being. Relationships are important for us and to us. They're as important as food and water. So let's improve them, one conflict at a time. They can bring you closer together. Remember, during the conflict, you find out the most important information. Your partner will tell you what they need you to do, what they want you to change, or what they're having a problem with. And if you just listen and then follow through on what they're asking, a lot of times you can manage that conflict. I don't like the word conflict resolution, because some conflicts can't be resolved. They have to be managed. And the best way to manage the conflict is to decide how you want to deal with it. And if it can't be resolved, agree to disagree, but not be disagreeable, not be abusive. While people may employ many different conflict resolution strategies in a relationship, when both parties use the same strategy, they experience 12% less conflict and are 31% more likely to report their relationship is satisfying. That's from PAPE 2001. Thanks for listening.